All right, folks. Well, you know you're in for a treat when you hear that tune because it's time for another week of the Rec Poker Podcast. I'm so excited to be here. I'm your host, Jim Reid, Bluffsterini in the home game and at Rec Poker Jim on the hellscape we call Twitter. Because I've got the best freaking job in the world hanging out here on the Rec Poker Podcast on YouTube live on Monday night at 7:30, hanging out with my friends and talking about poker. And it has been a weird and crazy summer. I've been here and there. I've had ups, I've had downs. I am excited to be back, locked into the Rec Poker podcast, and looking forward to an exciting autumn with all of you. So, I've got a few people joining us already here. I see, which you can do for free every Monday night live on YouTube and win a prize just for showing up. Before we get into our guest segment tonight, I have to thank the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino for being our sponsor. They are the official sponsor of the Rec Poker Podcast, and we're grateful for their support because most of what we do here is free. We're a largely volunteer-based organization, so we really depend on the support of our sponsors and our premium members. I know we've had a few new members sign up over the last little while, but I just got back yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to go through all our lists and everything. So I'm looking forward to welcoming them over the next few days and sharing some of our Rec Poker love with some of these fantastic new premium members. And I'll just remind you, if you want to become a premium member, it's only $22 a month, but you can get your first month for $5 by using the code RecPoker at checkout. And if $5 is too much, trust me, I hear you, brother. You can support your local food bank for any amount. And if you just send us a screenshot or a receipt of your donation to your local food bank for any amount at all, we'll also just credit you a free month at Rec Poker Premium as a way of saying thanks for helping out your fellow person there. So they let me host the show on Mondays most of the time. But I'm just one man, and as you've noticed over the summer, it takes a group, a gang, a village, a crew to make all the magic happen around here. We call this group of wizards the Wrecking Crew. If you want to find out more about me or the rest of the Wrecking Crew, you can go to rec.poker/crew, or you can just listen up because you're going to meet a few of them right here tonight on the show, starting with our own producing co-host, Chris Jones.
I'm Chris Jones. You can find me 5B5 on Twitter or 5x5 in the PokerStars home game. And I help run our monthly strategy segment called The Deep Dive.
And I am John Somsky, also known as Poker Geek MN everywhere. And I attempt to keep our home games running.
I'm Kim Kilroy. I'm PetVat or PetVat33 on the social platforms. I'm Fergie56 in the home game. And I run a hand history review once a month for premium members. And this month we looked at if we should ever play aces, slow play aces, pre-flop, when deep stacked. Very interesting. And we looked at a hand from one of our premium members. So join me on the second Wednesday of the month for the hand history review.
Yeah, do it, folks. So you get a sense. We get different Wrecking Crew members here on the show every week. It's just a little taster's choice of all the fantastic folks here on the Wrecking Crew, a lot of whom have opportunities to learn with study groups, coaching, group sessions, all that kind of stuff. It's all part of the fun here at Rec Poker. All right. So, like I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to be we're going to be interviewing our guest, our super surprise secret guest, a little later this week and editing it into the show. They couldn't make the time zone because they're over in Europe. But I want to remind our YouTube chatters, start typing the word food bank into the YouTube chat right now. Even though we're not doing the interview tonight, we're still going to be closing the show with giving away a prize. And of course, I love to encourage people to support their local food bank as part of that. And we'll also talk about some recent home game results and some other fun stuff happening at Rec Poker. So yeah, start typing food bank into the YouTube chat. And we'll just break right now and come in after our fantastic interview with our mystery guest. All right, folks, here we are with the one and only Franke Von Zweigbergk. I hope I'm doing that correctly, Frank. We had a chance to meet at the Irish Poker Open in Dublin earlier this year. And I thought to myself, who is this colorful character? Who is this guy who just loves fun and excitement and gambling, and you're kind of a larger than life character on the tour. It's turned out that we had a little bit in common. We love recreational games. We love mixed games. We love making life more fun I said, we got to get this guy on the show. We got to talk about how we can make the poker world and the gambling world and just the world in general a little more fun. So, Frankie, thank you so much for coming here on the RecPoker podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the Irish Poker Open, we've talked a lot about how it's a very fun series. It's got an emphasis on the recreational players. It's got very approachable buy-ins. It's not just poker. You kind of have taken that idea to a whole new level. So we've got your brainchild, the festival series, is a fantastic mix. It's not just poker. It's not just table games. It's all sorts of sort of like fun ways to wager with your friends. Don't let me put words in your mouth. Tell us a little bit about sort of like what, how did this come together? What holds the festival series together?
Okay, I give it a try, and thank you for organizing. But basically, like, I've been in the industry live. I've done parties and live events all my life. Since I was 16, I threw my first party, I think, in Stockholm. And as a kid, you play some home games, some versions of poker, and somehow the 10 cents came in, and sometimes you cried because you lost too much. But around 2003-4, I got bit by this poker online and live that exploded in the world. That was so cool on TV, etc. And I think in 2005 I created my first live event where I was living in Finland then, so I brought a bunch of Finns to Stockholm to a friend's poker club, and we challenged the Swedes for a national battle between Sweden and Finland. And I represented Finland, even though I'm a Swede, and of course we crushed them. Not only in the poker, we also crushed them in the tea drinking. And tea drinking, of course, the spicy tea. You can't really talk about gambling and drinking, so I say tea drinking.
Yes. We have a rich legacy here of Long Island iced teas as well over at RecPoker. So we know all about the tea drinking. Yes, very important element of having a good time.
Very important element. And then it was so successful. So somehow online operators said, let's work together, and we created a tour between these two countries. And then it grew to some other constellations. We did some cruises and whatever. And I created something called Cash Game Festival, which was the first non-tournament event in at least Europe. So 5-day poker extravaganza, only cash games, filled Asper's Casino with 30 tables, 5 days, no supporting tournament. That was insane. Then came COVID, and I realized I need to grow and go back to tournaments. And me personally, I like to put in a euro every now and then on sportsbook or do the spin in the roulette, etc. These are fun games too. So then I created the festival, which is really a celebration of have fun and game and gamble in combination. And of course, a bit of gamble aware, not the high stakes. We talk about low stakes, mid stake buy-ins, so that it's worth traveling for, but it's not that you lose a month's salary. You lose a bit of money when you lose, because most of us will lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, focus on having fun. So the hospitality, the side activities. I mean, during the 7-day festival, we tell players, you don't have to be at casino every day. Like, see the city, enjoy the sights, try a nice restaurant. But while you're at casino, then of course go all in and play as many tournaments as you can, and try some new games, try some mixed games, Sviten or horses or 8-game or deuce to 7 triple draw. Or of course, if you are in the Rolls Royce, you really want to play Texas, we have a plethora of Texas tournaments too. And somehow this was very well received by the European poker community and operators. And the threshold to get aboard is, 125 euro buy-in. Or if you're an operator, you need to buy a few packages and then buy out online for your players. And today, I think we have close to 20 operators that do qualifiers. For Malta, we booked 225 hotel rooms via us. So it's not a small operation anymore. Bratislava, we will have a 500,000 euro guarantee on the main event. The main event is a 500 euro, 550 euro buy-in.
That's amazing.
It's insane,
Yeah.
And 50 plus different events. So I'm like, cash games don't stop, and But then again, like we go out, we do the pool tournament or go-karting or swimming or restaurant visits and here and there a bit of tea drinking.
Yeah, I saw When we got a chance to meet up in Dublin, I was really captivated by the idea. When JP and Paul put us together for to sort of connect again after the series, I was really excited about it. I love that you guys have this emphasis on it is a recreational experience. Like you just said it just there, we come to have fun. The buy-ins are low because most players lose. And like that's a reality for a lot of this stuff. And in poker for sure, but especially when you get into these other kind of gambling games like roulette and blackjack and that kind of stuff, what you're paying for is the experience, the fun, the pleasure of the time. And it's just every once in a while you might actually make some money as well, which is great.
It's a bonus. I mean, it's a bonus if you do.
Yeah. And the experiences are so much fun that I think, people that know what they're in for are happy to flip that coin, even if they know they're going to lose a little money. Boy, what a great way to spend some time. Talk about a little bit of now I know there's so a lot of our listeners are going to know you talk about a series like a poker series. It's a bunch of tournaments that are kind of driving the action. Then maybe they have some side events on the side or some fun things like that. But you actually introduced this whole notion of like cash game leaderboards, where no matter what stake you're playing, the results are measured in big blinds, and so it's really just about how are you beating the field that you're playing against. Talk a little about how you came up with that idea and logistically what that was like to bring that to the fore.
Yeah, so I mean, we call it the cash game challenge. It's a feature table. Sometimes it's broadcasted on Twitch or whatever. Sometimes it's just a dedicated table where we do have a floor, and of course the dealer who then monitors the amount of money you put in, how many big blinds you buy in for. So if you reload or top up or whatever you do, it's monitored. And then let's say I end the session with 200 euros plus. If that was a 2-2 session, then I got 100 points. If it was a 20-20 session, I got 10 points, So whoever wins the most point in the 2 feature tables of a day gets into the final. The final is a pure easy flip where we flip for a package for the next stop worth 1,600 euros, then added by the organization. Yeah. And this way, it means that even though you tend to play 5-5 and someone else plays 2-2 or 10-10, you can still compete because it's a fair wallet. Like, yes, I have friends who they don't really get excited unless they have 2,000 euros on the table, while other people get very excited with 200. They need to be able to compete on equal terms. Of course, in variance, our Omaha sessions usually tend to have a bigger winner.
Sure.
That's then have one winner per day. And sometimes it's the Texas session. And then when we do the final day, the Sunday flip for the package for those 6 winners then over the week, they don't need to be on location, so they can have a stand-in with a paper, like I am now Frankie or whatever it is.
Right.
Then we do the reverse flip. So whoever wins the flip, which is a 4-card PLO flip, whoever wins is out. So you
Okay.
the maximum loser to win a 1,600 euro package. And people scream, even the stand-in screams. They have nothing to win. And, we film this. It's chaotic, but it's great fun. And somehow by kind of tournament incentivized cash games, somehow it has catched on, and it's very popular. We also have another way, special, fun addition in the festival called the Franke's flip-flops. Some famous wear Havaianas, the flip-flops. So, I wear a pair for a week every day, and they smell quite bad. So then the trophy there is like my used pair of flip-flops that is like biohazard. We frame them and it looks like hell. And how you win that trophy is that same system. During a 2-hour session, everyone can participate in our flip table, Franke flip-flop table. And it's rake free, so you put in 25 euro. Winner takes it all. As long as it's 5 persons, can be up to 10 persons. Whoever wins then the total prize point or prize pool. So it could be 250 euros or 125, which you can then use as tournament credits during the event, or give to a friend to use as a tournament credit. So it's really like it is, incentivized fun. You don't lose there. And then you get a point for every flip you win. Whoever wins most flip each day goes again to the final on Sunday, where you play for the trophy. Again, reverse order. And you don't really want to win the trophy, but you do want to win the package. Yeah. And there's big winner interview, and where the video team and photographers are there, and it's great fun.
It sounds like great fun. Well, that's actually the next thing I wanted to ask you about. Like, I think, poker started as a game.
Yeah.
Over the years, and I mean over the decades, like a lot of people these days treat it like fun is a four-letter word. They're very serious. Their headphones and sunglasses and hoodies at the table. It's like a grinder mentality to poker. I hate it. I think a lot of people that are listening hate it. I love that you are bringing this element of fun back to it. What is the impetus for that with you? You're obviously like a very dynamic, interesting, charismatic guy. What is it about your life that has kind of brought this attitude about making this fun into your work life?
Yeah, I think some rock star said, better to burn out than to fade away.
Mm-hmm.
So you should live for the day. I mean, carpe diem, seize the day. We are here for a short time. You should make good to other people, and you should, of course, enjoy life to the fullest. Of course, under responsibility. I mean, I'm a father. I take care of my kids as good as I can. I am an entrepreneur. I run companies. I pay my taxes, and I think I'm not that bad for society. And of course, gambling is perceived by many as the devil and something really bad. But if we can show it's a pastime activity, it's like going to the movies or to the theater, then let's not be marginalized. Let's have fun. And then if you take in the poker community, I think we have marginalized, whatever is the English word.
Yeah, that's it.
People that enjoy blackjack or slots, like, oh, that's not real gambling. They are not professional, but they love that. It's their pastime activity. So let's not point fingers to people for different hobbies they have. And as long as everyone is gamble aware, like, yeah, you put in the money, it's lost money. You can't see this as a way of making income. That's very important on the hobby level. Of course, there are people that are counting cards and make money on blackjack, or you have sportsbook punters that are banned from all the bookmakers because they win too much. So of course, there's same with poker. Of course, I don't want to sit down with ULP every day because I will be crushed. But still, I sit down with him because he's a good friend and we have a good laugh. So let's not marginalize people. Let's invite the whole gaming community. Maybe one day we add in backgammon and chess and whatever it is, because it's all different forms of entertainment.
Entertainment and competition, right? Yeah, sorry, please.
Competition, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, during the main event, day 1B or whatever, then on the big stage, so we have a full hall with a lot of players playing poker for 500 euros. It's actually serious money, yeah? Still, I have a stage with 4 different roulette tables hosting a roulette tournament where everyone is screaming 7, no, 32, 0 green, or whatever it is. It's chaos and laughing and teasing each other. And then you have the poker players. Oh, that sounds fun. Why do I sit here? And there is a conversion. It's not like, oh, shut up. No, they want to be there.
Yeah.
So we are onto something.
I think so. It's a great atmosphere. And I think, it does kind of bring the fun of all these competitions and ways of playing together. Now I do think there is, you touched on it there, like gambling does have a dark side. And the further we get away, like, there are certain games like poker, you're playing against other people, blackjack, roulette, you're playing against the house. Like, there's different ways that you can meet a dark end if you're not properly, focused, if you're not going into any kind of gambling venture with the right mindset. Have you actually gotten pushback from, different countries or regions or jurisdictions or people? Have you gotten a lot of people that are kind of concerned that you're creating a positive atmosphere around what they feel like is sort of like a negative experience or a negative offering for some people?
Yeah, of course, friends that are not in the gaming sphere, they are very cautious. we all have friends that thinks this is the devil. And still, when you explain and talk it through, like how we do it and how the operators are really gambler aware, then they start to realize maybe it's not that bad. It is just entertainment. It's like driving a fast car for some, or going boating or fishing, or bicycling down a mountain can be dangerous too, if you do it without thinking.
Yes.
But it will always be some people that they will never turn around. They will always think gambling is the devil. But when it comes to legislations or operators or partners or other companies, I think they're more informed. I think actually to having this licenses system, I think it's very good in US or in Europe or whatever. I think this going all internet, all crypto, non-controlled, I think it's a bit scary, especially if you think what happened during Black Friday or how you disappeared, etc. So it has to be controlled, but in a good way. And it has to be controlled then by states or organizations that understand the business. And too often, sadly, they don't understand the business because they have no interest in it. And then it doesn't really work. Like some countries define poker as a game of chance and don't tax it and call it a sickness. And some countries says it's a game of skill and tax it in a different way. And still the baseline, they read the same report,
Yes. Yeah, and I think people bring a lot of their own biases into it as well. They have and you said it already, for people that are not knowledgeable about it, all they have are their, emotional responses and what's been portrayed in media over the years as well, which is which does take a more of like a gambly slant than a lot of that.
Of course, you have always rotten eggs, and of course, these are the big headlines.
Of course, yes.
A mom with 5 kids lost $1 million using company card. Yeah, of course, shit happens.
Yeah.
Someone went shopping at I don't know, Walmart for the same amount of money with the same company card, but that's not a big report.
Yeah, it's true, but there is that stigma to it.
It is. So the more fun we have and more we invite people, then we can work against the stigma. I believe so. I truly believe so.
Yeah, I like that. And also I want to mention, like, I know you guys also have things like billiard competitions, and like a lot of the stuff isn't just games of chance necessarily. It's more about playing and competing with each other, and it's just choosing the right games and the right environments in which to do that. Because I think playing is like the one thing that we all have in common. Like growing up playing games. It's the one thing that
games, strategy games. I played game all my life. I love
games. Yes, me too. And it's good for the brain, and it's good for the soul, and it's good, and especially, you're a young man like me, Frankie. But as we get older, we're not going to be able to compete on the football field or, on the rugby pitch. Like we have to find these parlor games and other ways that we can show that we're the best.
Exactly. But still laugh when we lose.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, attitude is everything. Now you have a lot of balls in the air. You mentioned earlier you're an entrepreneur, you run several companies, you've got a family. You must have a very patient family because it doesn't seem like you're around very often. You have a lot going on.
It's called being divorced.
Okay.
But yes, I do have a fair bit of kids and ex-wife.
And how do you so do you get a chance to see your kids often? Is it something like, because you're traveling all the time with these events, does that get in the way? Like, is there an opportunity cost to that?
Of course it is. I'm not there as much, of course, but then again, I show them that there is a lifestyle that is functioning. I mean, I don't think they are having any beef with me being who I am. Instead, I think they are looking forward to have the same kind of life, and I give them the opportunity that you can create your own life. You don't have to go to school, then university, then start to work. There is other paths, and my path maybe is not the best path for everyone, but I think my kids like the path, and I think they're interested.
Yeah, good. Well, and certainly no one's path is right for everybody. So that's not going to happen. But and are your kids are they game players as well? Have you kind of instilled in them
a bit. My son likes sports betting a fair bit and is doing
Oh
quite
yeah.
okay every now and then. And my daughter, she's killing me in Chinese, open face Chinese, which I
Oh
think
yeah.
and so Vera and yeah, they're not so interested in games per se. Like not even board games, you know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well,
But
they've got some growing up to do then, I think, because like you and
yeah.
I know how that's like the holy grail, getting into games. What were some of your favorite childhood games before you got into like the gambling element of things?
Yeah, in the early days, I think with my brothers, we played chess, Stratego, which is a classic
Yes.
game.
Yep.
And then a version of like tic-tac-toe with paper and pen. You did circle and crosses. You need to have five
Hmm.
in a row so
Hmm.
that you could play wherever. And then card games. So
Yeah.
different versions, Chicago, some bridge games, kind of, but small ones for younger audience. And then I think it grew out to be more complex board games like Civilization or uh, I don't remember all the names, but one was called Empires in Arms and
Oh
Avalon
yeah.
Hill. I played that. I mean, it took 200 hours to complete, and you're 7 persons. I mean, it was insane. I was member in some game clubs, but I really liked it. Like it was good education. You learn history. You study in the side. You try to figure out strategies, short-term tactics, and yeah, I think gaming in general is fun. It's
Yeah,
important.
yeah. And we were talking earlier, Rec Poker's taken a real emphasis on mixed games over the last couple of years. Most of our listeners are no limit hold'em players, and there's just so many reasons not to just get stuck in no limit hold'em. Poker is such a great, vast game. No limit hold'em's just a small element of it. But what like, let me ask you this what do how do people benefit? Because you've been pushing, like you've been working on this for a while now. What are some of the benefits to people of expanding their repertoire, of trying some of these new things that they're not so familiar with?
I mean, entertainment value is number one. I mean, you use your brain totally different once you adopt and understand the rules of sweet and special. It's a beautiful game. The variance is higher in your local little 5 person card club or whatever it is, the Monday night poker you do with your friends. You will see that the bluffs you do are totally different, but after a while, you start to see pattern and you start to think outside the Texas box, which I think is very, very good. And overall, you have more fun. And then when you all of a sudden go back and play classic stud, 7 card stud, it's a beautiful game. It's very complex. It's a limit game. People say, "Oh, there's no money there, no chips in play." No, it's very expensive. You have a lot of betting rounds. And people stay far too long in the game. I can still develop. Or you have new things like the Italians. They invented Brutto Cattiva. It's an insane game. Imagine you play kind of an open Texas. You are all dealt 6 cards. And then there's a board, which is the bad board, 6 cards. And then the good board, 6 cards. And then it's a betting round. I mean, you need to play this in 1 cent version,
Yes,
or
yes, yes.
5 cents. So the betting round, and then they release or opens 2 from the bad board. Let's say it's a king and a 5. Now, all the kings and 5s in anyone's hand are discarded. They're not
Okay.
batted anymore. And then they show 2 of the good board. If that contains a king and a 5, it's also discarded.
Okay.
Betting round. 2 more bad cards, 3 and 9. Now all 3 and 9s are gone. And then the good board could then be a 3 goes away. And then betting round, and then the last bad, showing the 2 last cards. Now the ace came also, All of a sudden you have one guy, he sits with 0 cards, He was thinking he's winning with 3 aces.
Yeah, right,
It's
right,
insane game. And like it's a roller coaster, but you need, of course, to do it with sugar piece or 1 cent or whatever is your level. But it's a functional game. And once you play these games, you realize you can invent so much fun with just a deck of cards. And the
Yeah.
Italians played this one. I mean, I went to Milan a month ago and played this for the first time. And I fell in love.
I love it. Well, all it really takes is just like a good structure, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's one of the things I
yeah,
love
yeah, yeah,
about poker. It's just
yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
perfectly balanced. No, that's beautiful. Um, so what's your favorite destination? Now you've done all this traveling, you've been all over the world. Is there one stop? Is there one city? Is there one venue that really stands out to you that boy, I would love to go back there again and again?
Yeah, I'm biased. I mean, uh, Bratislava is a really good location in Europe
Hmm.
uh, as a city. Great casino, a lot of nice events. If you talk specific events, I would say Irish Open by JP and Paul in Dublin. I've been there, I think, 8 times or whatever. It is a beautiful event. It's very friendly. It's maybe, in my eyes, it should be a bit more mixed games, so a bit too
Mm.
Texas centric, but still
Hmm.
so many side action, insane amount of cash game tables, and very good local tea. Then you have the two Norwegian championships, one on Norwegian soil and one outside in Europe. Out of one is in Bratislava again. Beautiful events. Sadly, you need to be Norwegian to play, but
Ah.
they do have a lot of open events, so you can partake in a lot of other tournaments, and of course the cash games is open. And the organizers of those are they really look into the player perspective. Uh, Outside of Europe, I mean, WSOP is a great adventure, but I preferred when I was there, and I only been there once for a longer time. I've been there 3 times, but once I was there quite long. Then actually, I preferred to go to the smaller clubs like Binions or whatever there was, and you could find the Monday game that goes every Monday. It's the same
Yeah.
pensioners, the same Rex, and they're happy that there's some extra juice, and they're so social, and they play nonstop. South America has a scene that is growing and growing. But one location, I would say Bratislava. One series to visit apart from my own is for sure Irish Open. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this was my first Irish Open this last spring. I went with my wife. It happened to be our wedding anniversary, and so it was a perfect opportunity to go do some travel and play some cards and visit some friends. And yeah, we're hooked, man. I think, we're definitely going back next year, and we'll just see what the future holds. But it was a great experience, and a lot of it was because of that kind of the atmosphere, the camaraderie, the fun that goes on around there.
They
And
even have a
Bratis,
bar called the Crack Den,
the crack den, exactly. A
and
lot of
crack
good
is having
times.
fun in Irish, so it's not
Yes,
the
yeah.
crack.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. We don't have to bleep that out for our American audience. And Bratislava is right around the corner. So yeah, this is another thing I was interested in. So people, I don't think a lot of Americans understand what the European gaming scene is like. Bratislava is a fantastic city. It's the capital of Slovakia. They have other like the poker tours in Europe. I think are kind of like a closed book to a lot of our American listeners. They're just not over there as often. They're not as familiar with the destinations. But you've got the festival series coming to Bratislava in November, and you've been there before. What can people expect for this one? It's November 18th through 24. What can people expect if they're able to get over to Bratislava, which I recommend that they do. We should all be traveling more. And I've heard wonderful things. I haven't been there myself, but I've heard wonderful things about the country and the city, and of course the festival itself.
It's a beautiful city. It's great food. Price levels are very low. You can have the local tea is maybe 250 euros, and it's a very good one. Um, you can expect 50 plus events. You can expect players from all over Europe. You can expect a bit rowdier, louder level because we are laughing a lot. Cash game 24/7. I mean, in Bratislava, even up to 100, which is quite bloody,
It
even though
is,
that's
yeah.
something it really promotes. But somehow there's a group that comes every time to my stop there, playing specifically this game. The festival has maybe one of the coolest trophies. I mean, you do have the ring, you do have the bracelet, whatever, but we do trophies that are handmade portraits by an Ukrainian artist.
Ah,
So when you win the nightly madness at 4 in the morning, then we take a photo of the winner. We send to the artist. He wakes up in the morning. He gets the name of the winner and the trophy tournament in question, and he makes the drawing. And then next day on the trophy cupboard or whatever, there is all the winners, and then of course
wow.
the version for the web, etc. So that's something. It's also like end of harvest season, so maybe 1 month before. So Slovakia is a wine country, so another type of, and actually quite good. Some of the brands or what do you call it, vineyards. Then we are coming into the Christmas season. So on the second of the 2 weekends, the Christmas market is about to open, which is beautiful. And then it could be cold, be aware.
Right. Yeah.
Or it could actually be very, very nice weather, like +15, and you can walk around and just enjoy. Celsius, that is. I don't know what it's in Fahrenheit. Everything is walking distance. I mean, Europe, compared with US, you take a car from A to B, meaning that it's harder than to enjoy the tea. In Europe, you walk from A to B, and if
Yes.
need, take a taxi, and that costs nothing, and it's available in, Uber comes in 1 minute. I really like the food scene. I like the night scene. It's close. I mean, if you fly there, it's important. You don't look for flights to Bratislava, the capital. The airport is very small. Instead, you fly to Vienna. Vienna is 40 minutes away, the Vienna airport. So it's between the two
Yes.
capitals. And then, of course, if you're anywhere in Europe, make sure you go to Hungary and eat some goulash. And it's half an hour away.
Yeah, you're right there already. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Vienna is super cool also. I mean, Central Europe is nice. So if you fly over, spend a week more in Europe and see it, And
Yeah,
don't play
that's
poker. Try the blackjack tournament and also try to leave the casino 2 days. Just enjoy the city.
Yeah, that's great advice, especially for our American, North American and Canadian listeners. The real outlay is just getting over there. The flights are expensive to cross the ocean, but once you're there, it's very reasonable to get around.
Mhm.
And there's more to life than poker. If you're in a new country, like you say, go out, check it out, go visit some
You have to.
museums, see some ruins, go explore some new geography and history that you might not be familiar with. It's a great part of the world for
It is.
that. I will say that for sure, for sure. So I got two more questions for you, Frank, and I'll let you go. What is your favorite part of this life that you're living? This sort of cosmopolitan, globe-trotting, fun bringer. What's the one thing that you really sort of cherish most about it?
I think that wherever you go, you have friends. And of course, it's not the same friendship as you have with like Misha I've known since I was a kid, basically, That's a different kind of friendship. But if you have a common hobby and you can meet wherever for this common hobby, the hobby is portable, it's a deck of cards. And then you realize, oh, I met this. I mean, I'm in Philippines and meet the person I met in Bratislava, and then we just reconnect where we were. And he's saying, fuck you, you took me out with 9-2. And I said, well, you play bad with your aces, and we laugh, And then life is good. So I would say the friendship you have built along the years. Of course, it's tough to be on the road in many ways. I mean, and then if you host an event, you need to talk with 1 million people. And of course, you would like to spend a bit more than 5 minutes per person. And sometimes, like now in Malta, for example, it felt like I was just running from person to person. And it's
Yeah.
not so. So it's usually better the days before the event or the days after. Or when I go to other people's event, I lost
All right.
internet.
Yeah,
I
you're
lost.
back now. Now we're back. We're back. Okay,
I said friendship.
fantastic.
That's the most important.
Yes, yeah, and I got almost all of it. It just cut out at the end there, so I think we're good. All right,
Good.
I'll give our production team a little wave here so that they know where to find that. And we'll so then my last question, because this has been a pleasure and I really appreciate your time, Frankie. What have you learned from the games any lessons that have served you in your life outside of games? Has there been anything from the felt that you've found has been helpful to you off the felt?
Of course, a lot of things. A is, I mean, on the game table, you meet people from all walks of life, and then you need to talk with everyone. You need to adapt. You need to listen and hear that there's always 2 or 3 sides to a story or a coin. So poker has made my worldview bigger. I understand other people more, where they come from or why they say certain things. Of course, I don't always agree with certain crazy ideas going on at the moment, but it's important to listen to them, even though you don't agree. And then you can also discuss and say, how about this angle of the side? Maybe that's a more better view, maybe. You can't maybe convince them all the time, but so you learn a lot about life by playing table games. And then, of course, like you see patterns when you play, and you learn to take quite quick decisions based on the data, the information you have at hand. You learn to assess information fast. So sometimes, of course, maybe you shoot down someone's idea too fast because you see this pattern that you have learned from poker. But it helps you a lot, that you see your position, you see what you have at hand, what you stand to risk, and usually in life decisions are made fast, and it is a lot of luck that makes a good business succeed, or unluck that makes another good business to fail. So poker and life has a lot in common and can teach you a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I hope that you and I get to encounter each other in poker and in life many times over the next little while. It's been really fun getting to know you. And I know we've got some fun plans for RecPoker and the festival series coming up. So we'll tease that for now. We might be talking to Franke again sometime soon with some exciting details to share. But all that aside, just thanks for continuing to make the poker world such a fun place, Franke. And I enjoyed meeting you, and I hope we get to do a lot of good towards that goal going forward.
Thank you. I need to show my phone
Yeah.
also.
That's right. Yes, that's right. He knew immediately there was a kindred spirit at play there. So yeah, RecPoker and the festival series hopefully will live on for a long time, making each other greater. Frankie, thank you again so much for your time today, and I look forward to our next conversation already.
Thank you.
All right. Well, here we are. We made it. Another fantastic interview in the RecPoker podcast annals. The legacy of the RecPoker podcast interview guest has just grown by one person. Amazing. I think maybe one of our best interviews ever. I always like to think until they're recorded, they're always one of our best interviews ever. Phil wants to know, is he the super secret surprise guest? He's not in Europe, but we can send him there. That's a good point, Phil. Let's workshop that for a future episode. We're taking that under advisement. I'm going to put that right in our circular file.
Yeah, well,
Chris.
and if Phil's offering for us to send him places, I mean, there's a lot of places that we might want to send Phil. Maybe that we could come up with a whole itinerary for Phil.
I think that sounds like a really fun for us idea.
Yeah.
But at Phil's expense, of course. We'll be directing Phil. I didn't mean to say, like we'll send him there from the sort of standpoint of like commanding him to go. But no, we're not chipping in a penny for that jerk. No. All right, John Zomsky. There were some home games played recently, and you've been running this whole thing for so long now. I bet there's not a single name that you can't pronounce perfectly in this week's list of recent home game winners.
Well, perhaps. But first, I want to talk about issues. Several people have had issues registering for the tournaments. And I don't know what's going on. We have not changed anything in the tournament definitions or the home game definitions. PokerStars is having a number of bugs right now. So if you're having problems, some people have had luck registering on a mobile device and then they can play on the PCs. So I'm going to be
I have a workaround. Because I have not been able to register on the home game. So I try to register and then I can't. And so I go back out and I go into all of my clubs and I look at games. And then I go down to the rec poker game through all the clubs that I'm a member of. I go to it, and it's the second time I go on it through that route that I can register for the game, that the lobby
Okay.
will pop up. Or I've also registered on my mobile device, but I find that the second try is the charm.
All right. So you can give that a shot. If anyone wants to, I'm going to report this to PokerStars, but if anyone else wants to as well, the more they hear of bugs, the more likely they are to fix it. So feel free to report it to PokerStars to get it fixed. I have no control over that. We're also having problems getting results, but I've figured out a workaround to kind of get those. They are somewhat manually made, so you'll notice the start and finish times are not going to be correct, and I'm not gathering the country of origin in these results because it's not where I'm copying it from anymore. So, but let me know if you see anything wrong. There's more room for errors than there were, so I'll probably be making more errors than I was.
Well, John, sorry you have to deal with all that extra stuff right now. I know you've automated a lot of the stuff so well that it allows us to operate at the scale, but if you have to do all the stuff manually, I know that's a bit of a mountain.
Well, and I even got the now I have to copy and paste the results from the thing, but I'm automatically generating it into the format. For a couple of times, I was almost hand typing them, and that would not have been sustainable.
No.
But
is there you mentioned reporting it to PokerStars. Is there like a really easy way for people to flag it or something? Is there like a button on the client interface that they can click?
You can go to the support and then report a problem in the software.
Okay. So I'd encourage people, please do that, because as John says, the more times they hear about it, the more urgently they'll look at it. So that would be a help if you've had trouble signing into the home game club. See if you can report that to PokerStars yourself.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, John.
All right. Then on Wednesday, September 11th, we played horse as our mixed game, and JD Cat 32, Jeff Catalano, got his first mixed victory for the year. This is the event where we keep track of all of your wins and you earn points for the year. And apple of my eye, Harold Berry still has the top spot in the mixed game championship. On September 9th, Maddie Bumpo, Kathleen Twomey got the TOC event. So she earned a silver pin for her first TOC win.
Very nice. Very nice.
September 9th now, PetVet33, Kim Kilroy got her fourth nightly victory for the year. Then September 10th, Jay Sedum, Jeff S. got his ninth nightly victory. Then September 12th, PetVet33, Kim Kilroy got her fifth nightly victory for the year.
Whoa.
One Jack Flack, Brett got his second nightly victory for the year. JS, Jeff Sedum, got his ninth. Okay, so that first one was actually his eighth. This one was his ninth. But that means for the nightly events, two people took down two events each. So that's hard to impressive.
Do. That is impressive. Both. That's hard to do.
Way to go, Jeff and Kim. Wow.
And then we have Eva Roy CA, David Westerveld got his third international victory for the year. Bone Crusher 14, Marcel Dusick got his third international victory for the year. And Ivor Big One, CJ Rudnicki, got their first LPP event. So they can contact info@rec.poker for a free month at Learn Pro Poker.
Right on. Way to go, CJ. Congratulations. Some awesome names from Rec Poker coming out in the winners list there. That's fantastic. And congratulations to Kim, who is chasing only Evil Roy Slade himself in the lifetime rankings. And he only won one this week and you won two. So I think you're like way ahead already. That's fantastic. Great work, everybody.
Right now she is 10 events behind for lifetime. So Evil Roy now has won 71 events for lifetime and Kim has won 61.
Wow.
Both incredibly impressive.
So if she maintains this pace, she'll catch him in 10 weeks.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, that's right.
10 weeks should be it.
And a couple people still close on their heels to cross that 50 threshold. I know Stewie Carriage, who's in the YouTube chat tonight, is in the 40s, and there's a couple other Not me, but there's a couple other active
I
premium
think I have
members and
2
RecPoker
lifetime,
members.
maybe.
So yeah, very, very impressive. We got some real crushers here. We'd love to see it. And I know we've also started our scoreboard here at RecPoker for premium members. Just this is our free home game club, but we're also doing a bunch of fun promotions around real money scores. If you're a RecPoker premium member, get involved in the Discord. We've really upped our Discord game. There's a ton of fun stuff going on over there right now. And if you win or place or do well or cash in any live or online tournaments, you get a chance to enter your information there on our RecPoker scoreboard and get some props from the community. And we're just kind of seeing just how well we can do in any
Yeah,
typical given
we
month.
haven't
And
even been going, what, 6 weeks, and the
yeah,
Rec Poker community's already cashed for $39,000.
yeah,
That's
pretty
pretty
sweet.
cool.
Not
That's
bad for a
pretty
bunch of
amazing.
amateurs, you know. I love it. And that's all since WSOP too. That doesn't even
And
count
I
any
know
of
for
the
a fact that some people haven't been contributing to that list, so I think it's even higher. Some people maybe on this call maybe haven't.
Ooh, yeah, we're gonna have to get into that later. Sounds like we've got some fun, exciting news to share. That's awesome. Well, yeah, so sweet. I love seeing all this great community stuff coming together here at RecPoker. That's fantastic. So thanks, John, for your continued shepherding of our home game flock, and way to go for all our premium members who are kicking so much butt. Uh, so let me see. We were going to give away a prize today, but our audience doesn't seem that interested in supporting their local food bank. I'll give them like 30 seconds to type the words food bank into the YouTube chat while I just mention that the reason we try and support local food banks is because it's just a very difficult time in the world right now. People are having trouble putting food on the table to feed themselves, their families, their loved ones, their children. And just like we try and take away the stigma of recreational players here at RecPoker, we also try and take away the stigma of people that need a little help, just getting a little help. That's why these great organizations are there. So if you open up your smartphone right now and just Google food banks near me, you'll find a fantastic organization that can benefit from just a few dollars from your pocket, a few hours of volunteer time from your week, or a few non-perishable food items from your pantry. And I'd encourage you to just find a place in your community to help out your neighbor. And it's a great way to make the world a better place. It doesn't really cost much and does make a big difference. So, all right, I see that we have appealed to the masses, and we've got Mike Day, Stuart Carriage, Eric Anderson, and Hubert are the four that I see. Chris, do you have a die ready by any chance?
I'm getting it ready. We're gonna skip the Dice-O cam
Yeah, we'll skip the cam for this one.
this week.
We got a
Especially
four-sided.
because Phil didn't enter, so then we won't get accused of doing any shenanigans.
Perfect. If we roll a 1, I'll donate $20 to a local food bank here
All
in
right.
Coburg.
Oh,
we know
there
he
goes
did.
Phil.
He got in there for the 5. All right,
He
so
got
I'll
in there
take
five.
I'll take
right.
6 then.
Now,
I'll take
now,
6.
Now we gotta listen to the
He's always messing with our
the
plans.
whining
This Philip
and
Razor
whatever.
guy.
If I don't
Good
roll a 5,
Lord.
here it comes.
Yeah.
All right.
All
It
right,
is
let's
a
see.
6.
Okay, so that's 20
So,
bucks from
20
me.
bucks
I'll
to,
be
yeah.
I'm going to make a note here. I'll be donating $20 for me. I donate to the Coburg Fair Share Food Bank here in Northumberland County. So you can count me on me for that. I'll be getting in touch with them this week for that donation. But we also love to support the Second Harvest Food Bank in Minnesota and Poker Gives, an organization in Las Vegas. And we have a few others that we like to work with as well. But let's do a reroll. What's
I
up?
did. It's a 1.
It's a 1. Mike Day. All right, Mike. Congratulations. I've been meaning to connect with Mike actually for the last little while, so this is perfect timing. Mike, send an email to jim@rec.poker, and we will get you all set up with the wonderful prize that you have won. And if folks at home are wondering what exactly is the prize and how does this all work, basically, if you're just tuning into the show and you're not a RecPoker Premium member, then you win a free month of premium membership at RecPoker, which I think you'll love. And if you are already a premium member, one of the perks is it unlocks a whole new tier of prizes. You can get some free access to some of our fantastic training partners, like Learn Pro Poker, Solve for Why, Jacka Coaching, Red Chip, PokerCoaching.com. Oh God, I should never do these live without a list in front of me. I know I'm forgetting one, but a number of fantastic training sites throughout the world. And they like to support our membership here at RecPoker as well. So thank you, Mike, for contributing to our podcast raffle. and you can send that email. Yeah, info@rec.poker is the right email address to get hooked up with those prizes. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. And I want to say it's been great seeing all these wonderful folks in the YouTube chat. Like I said, I've been kind of on and off for the last little while, but it feels great to be back in the booth with my fantastic friends Chris, John, and Kim. Gang, is there anything else that we should mention? Oh, I guess I should say the Saturday of this week is the heads up match. It's the third Saturday of September. So at 2 o'clock Eastern, one of the games in our home game club will be a heads up ladder bracket style tournament. It's free to enter like all our home games, and the winner will be entered into Marek Madness next March is what you humans call it. But that's going to be a lot of fun, and so you can join for free 2 o'clock Eastern on Saturday the 21st. Yeah, 21st. And there is no late registration for this event, just FYI. So make sure you sign up on time. And it's a lot of fun. All right.
And
Well,
for those of you who only use the one true time zone, that is at 1 p.m. Central Time.
Central Time, the only time zone that matters. Thank you, John. I appreciate that clarification. All right. Well, if you're watching live in the YouTube chat, stick around. We're actually going to record a forums edition of the podcast right after this, and we're going to be looking for some input from our group, some questions, some answers, and we're probably also going to give away a whole other prize, if you can believe it. So without further ado, I want to thank our fantastic mystery guest. I want to thank Kim Kilroy, John Somsky, Chris Jones, our official sponsors, the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino, everyone in the YouTube chat, and all you listening at home. All right, thank you so much, folks. We'll see you next week on the RecPoker Podcast. Good night, everybody.